this video, I'm going to go through 3 steps to start optimizing and improving your metabolism today. My name's Adam Bono. I'm an online fitness professional. I help men lose body fat, keep it off for good, and get unstuck from fat loss plateaus using high-level forms of nutrition and metabolism manipulation. I specialize in metabolic priming, which is a process of metabolism manipulation. I have helped dozens of guys in the past lose weight, get unstuck from fat loss plateaus, and get to the leanest physique they've ever been using higher level nutrition strategies. But in this video, I'm going to give my top 3 tips on how to start boosting your metabolism today. The third probably being the most important, so stick around for that one. So, getting right into the video. So, 1, the first step to optimizing your metabolism is optimizing your digestion. What metabolism is the rate at which your body burns food, right? So, optimizing your digestion right off the bat is going to help with optimization of metabolism. So, sticking to 4 to 5 meals today and spreading those meals out further with your added caloric amount will help with your body's utilization of being able to break down foods and optimizing nutrient absorption. So spreading your meals out with 4 to 5 meals per day instead of your typical 2 to 3 will help your body catch up, digest faster, and digest easier, and also utilize that nutrition better, right? So many people who are been doing 2 to 3 meals for a while or have gut inflammation or, poor, digestion in general, maybe have been eating 1 to 2 meals a day, pretty high in fats. And what it does is it stops up your digestion and puts your body in that oh crap mode, and it can't digest more food. Think of it as like a sink, like a dirty sink. As soon as you clean all the dishes in the sink and you get the sink all the way clean in the form of your digestion, there's just more dirty food and dirty dishes packing on top of that, dishes already. So optimizing your digestion by first spacing your meals out 4 to 5 times per day. There's quite literally dozens of my clients right now eating more food than they ever have and hitting all new low weigh-ins each week. Because 1, we optimize their digestion right off the bat. So optimizing digestion for 4 to 5 meals a day and not eating a high carbohydrate meal right before bed. So if you do, or a way to optimize your digestion, if maybe you get in the position where you have to stick to 1 to 2 meals a day, maybe in time, work, or whatever it may be, or even get stuck eating very late at night, one thing that you can do to optimize digestion and get that process of the body burning more food quicker is going for a 10 to 15 minute walk post-meal. So if you can't get 4 to 5 meals in per day and you can only get 2 to 3, after each meal, take a 15 to 20 minute walk, and that will help with the digestion process of breaking the food down and help with the body burning a little bit more food. And then also doing that before you go to bed. So think about if you eat a big meal right before bed, you plop yourself right on the couch or plop yourself into bed. Obviously, it's going to take longer for that food to digest with your body at rest rather than taking a 15 to 20 minute walk. So on top of that, adding in a gallon of water a day. So a gallon of water a day is kind of like lubricant for your intestinal organs, right? So adding a gallon of water a day will help with digestion, electrolyte imbalances, and making sure food is flowing through your body at a very good rate. So next is strength training and walking, right? So strength training in general is going to be very beneficial in boosting metabolism. Why? Because an increase in muscle tissue leads to an increase of metabolism. It takes 8 calories to sustain 1 pound of muscle tissue. It takes 2 calories to sustain 1 pound of body fat. So simply having more muscle tissue will simply raise your metabolism quite 4 times the amount because you have more muscle tissue. Also, muscle tissue is highly glucose absorbent, which means that it is highly glucose absorbent to carbohydrates, glucose being carbohydrates. So, going through a strength training program that's optimizing for actual muscle growth, training 4 to 5 times per week to optimize actual strength and muscle mass will in turn help with you increasing metabolism. So next is walking, right? So a lot of people who are doing very high intensity workouts or do a lot of high intensity running are still stuck and can't seem to lose weight. The problem is with that is that the body, when in a high intensity state over a prolonged period of time, starts to get into what's called adrenal overload, which means that your body no longer wants to burn fat anymore because it is so highly inflamed and the cortisol levels are so high in the body that it's causing an adrenal overload, right? So pairing strength training with actual simple walking, right? Walking is a form of low intensity cardio that is non-inflammatory on the body, and it helps with not only digestion, right, like we talked about, but it helps with burning calories in a low intensity state. So when you break down fat mobilization and fat oxidation, studies show that actual walking every day instead of your typical strength training, even your typical strength training or high intensity workout, will help with the actual oxidation of fat. So fat loss comes in two different stages. It comes in fat mobilization and fat oxidation. For you to actually burn fat, you have to break the backbone of the fat molecules that are in your body and actually get that fat molecule into your bloodstream to be able to oxidize it. So strength training specifically helps with the mobilization of fat, but walking at a low intensity state specifically helps with the oxidation of fat. So the studies show that walking in general helps you oxidize fat and burn more calories in the form of carbohydrates, while strength training helps you with the mobilization of fat even after you're done working out, hours after you're done working out. Okay, so if you're doing very high intensity workouts, you're in a very low caloric deficit and your body is in a very adrenal fatigued state, it will no longer want to oxidize or mobilize fat. It'll be way too overloaded with adrenal fatigue and cortisol to allow either of the process to happen. So fat loss actually occurs through the nervous system, right? So if your adrenal is overloading your system and your nervous system is going through high levels of cortisol, it will not allow you to mobilize or oxidize fat. So the last trick in actually raising your metabolism and optimizing your metabolism at the highest rate, and it is probably the most important, hitting macronutrients, right? So you break down calories, macronutrients, and micronutrients. Calories affect your weight, macronutrients affect how you look, and micronutrients affect how you feel. So hitting macronutrients will help with raising metabolism, increasing muscle tissue, optimizing hormones, and everything in general. So let's break down everything in general in the form of protein, carbs, and fats. So protein, one, yes, it helps build muscle tissue. As we explained earlier, having more muscle tissue will help with having a higher metabolism. But protein specifically has a higher thermic effect of 30%, which means that for every 100 calories you eat of protein, 30% of that gets broken down into the digestive process. So having a higher protein intake will help with having a higher metabolism in the form of building good muscle tissue, but also burning more calories in a thermogenic state. So fat, for instance, regulates hormone levels. It regulates T3, T4, thyroid, testosterone, and many other hormone levels in the body. So having a correct fat intake will help with the regulation of all the hormones associated with your metabolism, and more importantly, as fat is the odometer with your digestion. So we talked about earlier how improving digestion improves metabolism, right? So fat intake specifically is also the odometer in digestion. Being the higher caloric amount and higher value with the lowest thermic effect of 3%, it is a very slow digesting macromolecule, which means that if you have a higher fat intake, it can cause a stop up in your digestion and an increase in bloating or whatever it may be that's causing you the gut that you can't get to go away. So having a correct fat intake will not only help with the hormone imbalances in your body producing metabolism, but also help with digestion, which also increases metabolism, right? So next is carbohydrates. So many of you watching this right now probably hate carbohydrates, have tried keto diets or super low carb diets in general, and you just got to a point where you just plateaued and you just kind of gained it all right back. Glucose is the preferred energy method of your brain, which leads to higher cognitive abilities, be able to think clearer, be able to, interpret things better and have less brain fog. But also carbohydrates reduce inflammation. Remember how we talked about adrenal overload and inflammation in the body? Well, carbohydrates carbohydrates specifically help with reduction of inflammation and reduction in cortisol. So having correct carb intake, which is not too much to put in the point where you put off extra body fat, but in the correct point where you're actually getting the benefits from carbs, will help you with inflammation reduction in your gut, but also help with improved cognitive ability and regulating adrenal fatigue. So carbohydrates also affect leptin, which communicates fat cells to the brain that we have enough carbohydrates that we can boost our metabolism, right? So if you don't have enough carbohydrates in your diet, or you've been in a very low caloric deficit with a little amount of carbohydrates for a while, you could be in the point where you're no longer producing leptin and your brain's no longer telling your body to burn more food and increase the metabolism. So what carbohydrates do specifically is they give you a very good leptin spike, which will tell the brain to burn more calories, burn more food, and increase metabolism. So there's a synergistic effect that happens when you hit everything perfectly: protein, carbs, fats, right? In the form of increasing muscle tissue at a good rate, in the form of optimizing digestion, optimizing hormone levels, getting you good leptin spike. So having correct protein, carbs, fats amount will give you the increase in metabolism that you're looking for and help you get unstuck from a fat loss plateau that you might currently be in. So everybody's calories, macronutrients are specifically different to their height, weight, age, job description, how active they are during the day. And so finding the correct macronutrient amount for you will help with making you look better, making you get to a leaner body fat percentage, optimizing how you think, how you feel, how you live, and giving you that body that you've always been looking for. So the most important thing in increasing your metabolism, increasing your body fat loss, and getting to a leaner body fat percentage is by far hitting the correct macronutrients. So many of you who have simply been eating healthy for a while, haven't been tracking calories, and you've just gotten stuck and you don't know where to go. You need to start tracking macronutrients specific to your body's needs. So if you need help with this and you need help hitting your correct macronutrients and finding the correct macronutrients associated to you to increase digestion, increase metabolism, increase muscle tissue, improve cognitive ability and brain fog, then there's going to be a link below for you to sign up for a time with me to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. I have worked with dozens and dozens of guys in the past and have got them to the leanest body fat percentage they have ever been using my method of metabolic priming and optimizing metabolism. So if you're stuck and you just can't lose weight and you've been stuck for a while in just a plateau, don't know which direction to go, sign up for a time down below. We'll jump on a call. We'll break down where you're at, where you're looking to be, and what's stopping you from getting there. And if I'm 100% confident that I can help you, I'll build you out some higher level strategy and show you what it looked like for you. So that's the end of today's video. Hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, and go watch my free metabolic priming training on my YouTube channel. It'll tell you more about who I am, what I do, and more about metabolic priming in general.